What is happening, everyone? We got another teardown for you. Today we're going to do the MaxWest Astro A63. This one comes in a, usually they're in black, but this one's in a nice cool little blue color. You kind of don't see that every day. We got one of these and we're going to do a charging port teardown and full, I should say a full teardown. So if you have a charging port replacement or a screen replacement, you'll see how we tear it down, and then you can fix the part that you're trying to fix. Just remember, when you guys do a teardown or you work on a phone, you could damage it more than the portion that you're trying to fix. So keep that in mind. If you don't feel comfortable with your skill set, you can always ask a professional to do it for you, so you don't damage the phone even more. And we got a ton more teardowns and hard resets coming up. So if you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. We'd appreciate it. So let's get right into it. First thing we got to do is take off the back cover. So take that bad boy off. That's off. And then we have battery. We'll pull that real quick. Then we got all these fancy screws we got to take out. So grab our handy dandy screwdriver and we'll get right to it. So when you get all the screws out, double check, make sure we get everything out, because I have a tendency to leave one or two in there. So it looks like they are all out, and let's pop off the mid frame and the cover for the charging port. Comes out pretty easy. I use a metal pry tool. You can use a plastic one. It's just kind of whatever preference you have. The front camera's already trying to come out. Doesn't really matter. There's really no wrong way of doing it, but you just want to get in between the little crack between the screen and the actual plastic and just pry up gently. That one I kind of flung off, so there's a little cover for the loudspeaker and charging port. And if you're doing just the charging port, you wouldn't have to worry about taking off all the screws to the top. You would just do the bottom and then get the charging port replaced from there. So let's double check. It looks like we got a couple more screws in the motherboard, so let's take those out real quick. Right, so those are out, and let's start disconnecting everything. So we have the main ribbon. Our camera is already disconnected. We can just pull this bad boy out. So there's your front camera. If you rip this piece of tape, it's really no big deal. Don't worry about that. Get that coax. It's just more to keep it in place than anything else. That's what it's there for. I usually don't even bother unhooking the front or the camera, but for the video's sake, I will. So that's unplugged, and then we have the charging port over here. Unplug that, and then let's pull up here. Find a spot where you can fit your pry tool and just gently pry up to make sure you didn't miss anything, like any of the screws or any other connector. So there's your board, your main board. That's gone. We have this rear camera that we want to pull out. There you go. Usually use a little double-sided piece of sticky tape to hold it in place, so it's not really stuck on there that hard. Then we have our coax antenna cable that goes all the way down this way. And when you're taking these out on some models, just be careful, because sometimes they loop them under other stuff. In this case, they didn't, but sometimes they'll put them like under the actual wires. So if you pull up, you end up ripping the wires. So be cautious of that. So with the charging port, it's wired in for the mic, which is right here, the vibration motor and the speaker, which I hate because there's a tendency that you can rip these wires relatively easily. So just be careful when taking this out. So we'll do the loudspeaker first. Gently pull that bad boy up. And they actually have this loudspeaker on backwards. Usually they'll be glued the other way, but to each his own, I guess, you know. Some of these smaller spots it's harder to get that pry tool in, so I'll just use the flathead. We'll pull out the microphone. And this one, usually if you just get around the sides, you can just pop it right out. There it goes. Oh, sorry, I didn't even get that on camera. You just get it around the sides, you can just pop it right out. There you go, so there's the microphone out. So now what's left is the vibration motor. I do apologize for some of the angles because it's really hard to work on a phone when you got a camera in front of your face. And that makes it a pain in the butt. Let me throw some heat on that one because that one feels a little stuck. I love me some heat. Oh, see? That is exactly what I was talking about. They must have pried it before. Now that vibration motor is toast. So now the choice is either to replace the vibration motor and cut the wire and resolder, or to get a whole new charger for it. So don't do that, because that will cost you. And then we just lift up over here and pry up. That is why I like heat. If you guys see my other videos, you can see, I'm a proponent of heat. So that's out. And we'll add a little bit of heat for this power volume flex. Don't need a lot, just a little bit, only because we have these weird little connectors over here, and you have to lift over them, and I don't want to rip it. There we go. So I got that top portion pushed up, and then you can just kind of go right in between the frame and this flex cable, and it should just come right out. Especially with the heat, it just kind of just slides right out, just like that. And then all we have left is the ear speaker. Just trying to find the spot where they usually have you pry from. There's really no good spot. Let's go from that spot. And so I did the top corner. If you're trying to take this out, that's where it seemed it had the most leverage on it. There's your speaker, and there's your screen frame. So that is how you do a full teardown on a Astro A63 from MaxWest. Just don't break the vibration motor with the loudspeaker like I just did. So I'm mad that I did that. I should have thrown some heat on that. I've taken this phone apart a million times, and I always forget that the vibration motor sticks so hard on there. So keep that in mind when you're doing yours. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.